Shabbat Shalom. I just want to welcome everyone to the Sabbath Day conference call. This is Barbara. I'm serving as your host today, and Brother Pete is your co-host.
Yes, and I am so glad that you've been able to join us today. Tune in for this important message.
So I have a question for you. Do you want the blessing? Obey the commandments of Yah. Well, how does Nehemiah describe the giving of the law at Sinai?
Nehemiah 9:13 through 14. You came down also upon Mount Sinai and spoke with them from heaven, and gave them just ordinances and just laws, good statutes and commandments. You made known to them your holy Sabbath, and commanded them precepts, statutes, and laws, by the hand of Moses, your servant.
Why did Yahweh call his people out of the land of Egypt?
Psalms 105:43 through 45. And he brought forth his people with joy, and his chosen with gladness, and gave them the lands of the heathen, and they inherited the labor of the people, that they might observe his statutes and keep his laws. Praise ye Yahweh.
In the wilderness before reaching Sinai, how did Moses explain the absence of the manna on the seventh day?
Exodus 16:23 through 26. And he said to them, this is what Yahweh has said, tomorrow is a Sabbath rest, a holy Sabbath to Yahweh. Bake what you will bake today, and boil what you will boil, and lay up for yourselves all that remains to be kept until tomorrow. And so they laid it up until tomorrow, and Moses commanded. It did not, as Moses commanded, and it did not stink, nor were there any worms in it. Then Moses said, eat that today, for today is a Sabbath to Yahweh. Today you will not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the seventh day, the Sabbath, there will be none.
Well, when some of the people went out to gather manna on the seventh day, what did Yah say to Moses?
Exodus 16:28. And Yahweh said to Moshe, how long refuse you to keep my commandments and my laws?
What additional evidence do we have that Yah's laws existed before it was proclaimed on Mount Sinai?
Romans 5:19. For as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous.
Right, and the verse here on this picture is another good verse from the New Testament, 1 John 3:4. Whoever commits sin also commits lawlessness, and sin is lawlessness. How were the Ten Commandments first presented to the people at Sinai?
Exodus 20:1 through 3. And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh, thy Elohim, which hath brought ye out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Elohim before me.
How was it then written down as a permanent record?
Exodus 31:18. And he gave unto Moshe, when he had made an end of communing all with him upon Sinai, 2 tablets of testimony, tablets of stone, written with the finger of Elohim. Note, the law of Yahweh, as well as the knowledge of creation, the plan of redemption, and the experiences of the early patriarchs that had been handed down from father to son until this time, but not in written form. At Mount Sinai, he wrote the 10 Commandments upon 2 tablets of stone with his own finger.
How did Moses show that the children of Israel had broken their part of the covenant between them and Yahweh?
Exodus 31:19. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tablets out of his hand, and broke them beneath the mount.
With what exactness did Yahweh write the law the second time?
Deuteronomy 10:4. And he wrote on the tablets, according to the first writing, the 10 commandments which Yahweh spoke unto you in the mount out of the midst of the fire, in the day of the assembly. And Yahweh gave them unto me. That's Moses speaking.
Well, where did Moses place these 2 tables of stone?
Deuteronomy 10:5. And I turned myself and came down from the mount, and put the tablets in the ark which I had made, and there they be, as Yahweh commanded me.
Well, how were they to teach the law to their children?
Deuteronomy 6:7. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and you shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up.
What promise to Israel hinged on their keeping the instructions that he had given them?
Exodus 19:5-6. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
What reveals that the 10 Commandment law given at Sinai is the law for us today?
James 2:10-12. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now if thou commit no adultery, yet thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law. So speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. Deuteronomy 11:26-28. Behold, I set before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you obey the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, which I commanded you today. And the curse, if you do not obey the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, but turn aside from the way which I command you today, to go after other gods which you have not known.
So how do we get the blessing? By obeying Yah's commandments and his Sabbath day, and all of the calendar that shows you the Sabbath day is written in the heavens. Psalms 19:1 says, the heavens proclaim the glory of Yah, and the skies display his craftsmanship. So to access more information about Yah's commandments, and also about the 4th commandment, and all of his commandments are still for us today. We just encourage you to go to our website, lunarsabbathday.com. So thank you for being here today, and we appreciate everybody, and I hope you'll go study this out.